Well, the first of the 4 quarter-finals, and due to unexpected circumstances, we are able on the JB Claret YouTube channel to bring you all 4 quarter-finals. And let me bring you up to date with the 2 teams and the officials. Well, that's at least 2 of the officials. Uruguay with Muslera, Jimenez, Godin, the centre-back, Bentacano, Nandez, Luis Suarez, Struani in place of the injured Cavani, Torreira, Vecchino, Laxout and Cazares. For France, it's Lloris, Pavard, Varane, Pogba, Griezmann, Mbappe, Tolisso, Kante and Hernandez. And nice little picture there between the 2 teams saying no to racism. So Uruguay are going to play with 4 at the back, with Cazares, Jimenez, Godin and Laxout the back 4. Torreira and Bentacano will play in the centre. Nandez and Vecchino on the left and right flanks, and it's Struani in place of Cavani up front with Luis Suarez this afternoon. So essentially they're going to go 4-4-2 diamond. For France, as I said, the Luis in goal, so it's Pavard, Varane, Umtiti and Hernandez across the back. And it's Pogba, Kante, Mbappe, Griezmann, Tolisso and Giroud. So that's the lineup for the French, and it should be a cracking atmosphere as we watch the 2 teams nervously there. Oscar Tabarez, of course, the manager of Uruguay, been a good coach for quite some time. And on the opposite number, Didier Deschamps, who got France within a whisker of winning Euro 2016 in Paris, but came up short against a Portuguese side that just had too much on the day. No Edison Cavani, he sits this one out on the bench. His injury hasn't recovered in time. Uruguay in blue shirts and black shorts, France all in white. Paul Pogba giving the last huddle of prayer. Kylian Mbappe was the man that was superb in the last round against Argentina in that never to be forgotten 4-3 match. Let's hope we get something a little bit more similar to what we got the other night. I'm absolutely looking forward to it, and it's going to be Uruguay kicking off, attacking the goal to our right here in Volgograd. And where we go then, the first of the quarterfinals is underway on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Uruguay and France pushed up. Remember, later tonight I'll be back with Chris Whiteman and commentating for a terrific quarter-final prospect between Brazil and Belgium. What a big game that promises to be, and you'll be able to hear that from 10 to 7 tonight as France go forward in search of the opening goal. France, who, as I said, beat Argentina in a cracking 4-3 game on Saturday, which was absolutely amazing, really, to be honest, as Umtiti comes forward now, plays it to the near side, and it's Hernandez, number 21. Hernandez playing it back, still 0-0. Tolisso playing it back to Umtiti, and Titi now just at walking pace here, 10 yards from inside his own half, plays it out to Hernandez. Hernandez now down the left hand side, winning a couple of the Uruguayan defenders. Still Hernandez, plays it back inside to Kante. Kante now over the halfway line, he'll find Varane, of course, over to the far side. Now Pavard, who scored an absolute screamer in the last 16 a few days ago on Saturday, looking to get that ball forward down the right. It's sucked away by the Uruguayans. Still 0-0 here as we approach a minute and a half of the first half gone. And it's France on the attack now with Hernandez. Hernandez working it back. There's a French player gone down there, and I have to say it was an off the ball incident. The French physios are about to come on. I can't tell who it is. The referee stopped it. It's Giroud, and he's got an ankle knock. And the referee from Argentina, Nestor Pitana, has had to stop it. Let's see what happened. Oh, there was a stamp there, you know. Jimenez has stamped on him. And I have to say, if the referee had spotted that, or a VAR official, or France decided to review it for the VAR, then Jimenez could have had every cause to be sent off there. He stamped on him. Off the ball. Certainly looked as if it should have been a red card there, but as I say, no one saw it. But wow, a little bit of controversy in the opening 2.5 minutes here in Volgograd. And tomorrow, of course, we'll have the other two quarterfinals. England against Sweden. I'll be on the mic for that one. Chris will be presenting. And then it's Chris's turn in the commentary box later tomorrow evening as the hosts, Russia, take on the Croats for a place in the semi-finals. And both semi-finals will be on the JB Clark YouTube channel during the week, during the next week. And then on Saturday, the third place playoff. And then on Sunday, kick off 4 o'clock. A week on Sunday will be the actual final itself. Will England be there? Will these two be there? Remember, the winners play Brazil or Belgium in the semi-finals, and that's going to be a top quality semi-final in itself, that one. Taking England's progress aside, this is a chance now for Uruguay now to break on the halfway line. Ball out towards the far side. Laxalt making a good burst down that, or rather Stuani making a good burst down that side. Then the shot pulled back towards Stuani. It'll come out to the right hand side. Still a chance in there for Uruguay, and almost the opportunity there. France getting a little bit caught out there in defence. And now Griezmann on the chase, or Giroud rather, and Caceres, or rather, gets the ball back to goalkeeper Muslera. 0-0 here. What a good first half it promises to be here, as this game is being played out. We'll have a decision, by the way, tonight, whether it's or this afternoon, rather, whether it's extra time or golden goal. Well, I'd say golden goal, extra time if it's level after 90 minutes. And if it's level after the extra half an hour, we will have a penalty shootout to decide who went through. And remember, the last time we brought you a penalty shootout, Chris Whiteman described a famous England victory on penalties. Zayutini says Viva France, so we've got a Frenchman supported. And we'd like to know, we'd like to get your comments as well. Keep them nice and clean. It's a family show. It is. We are live from 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Remember, we'll be back live at around 10 to 7 for Brazil with myself and match commentator Chris Whiteman. He'll be, as I say, he'll be prepping for that one with great distinction here. And already Uruguay on the attack. It's Stuani now inside the penalty area. Stuani pulls the ball back. There was just nobody waiting in the centre. Not even Suarez was there, as Caceres tries to keep it in on the far side and wins his team a throw-in level with the penalty area of France. 0-0 with 5 minutes gone. Stuani there, the former Middlesbrough man, breaking furiously down the right, and a little bit of trouble there for the French, as Uruguay now with 5.5 minutes almost gone, trying to break away forward. Remember, they're missing Emerson Cavani. He was injured in that victory over Portugal on Saturday. And Laxalt now tries to play a low ball in from the left hand side, but Kante cuts that out. He's such an insurance policy in front of the back four in goal. Kante really enhanced his reputation over the last 2 or 3 years with Leicester, of course, and obviously in the last 2 years with Chelsea. That's good skill now, and the French breaking furiously now down this near side. And Hernandez now will try the shot in there towards Griezmann by the penalty spot of the Uruguayan penalty area, and almost an opportunity for the French. It's a good open field to the game. Pogba out to the far side, and now Pavard now trying to get a 1-2 going, and Baffy's there forward as well. Still a chance here for the French. Griezmann inside on the edge of the area. Get it out to the far side now. Pavard needs a good cross, and it's a good one as well. Only half out. And in fact, there was a miscontrol there by one of the French players. It might have been Hernandez actually, and in the end it came away. But here's Griezmann now. Griezmann towards the edge. Hernandez now with time to cross. He plays it back to Kante, halfway inside the Uruguayan half, over to the far side, and Pavard out to the far side. This is good football. Now Kylian Mbappe, the hero, the 2-goal hero against Argentina, looking to find a way through again. 7 minutes gone then in Volgograd. It's still 0-0, and a throw to France. Pavard gets on with it very quickly. Back to Pogba, back to Pavard again, right hand side. Pavard with a cross away by Godin. And out for another throw-in. And now France, after being on the back foot for an early part of the first half, starting to come into it now with 7.5 minutes of the first half gone. Remember, we will get a decision here this afternoon. The game kicking off at 5 o'clock local time in Russia, 3 o'clock our time here in the UK. Pogba and number 11 Stuani battling away, and Pogba bringing down Stuani. Russ is on. Hello JB. Hello to you too, Russ. Nice to speak to you earlier, and thanks for the comfort, of course. I've had a bad couple of days personally, but I'm fighting back, and that means, due to the unforeseen circumstances, we are able to bring you all 4 quarterfinals live. The original plan was to bring you the Saturday matches, but we can now bring you Friday's matches now, which is fantastic for you supporters and fantastic for me and Chris as commentators in that respect. As the ball bounces a couple of times on the edge of the French penalty area in France, we're able to get it away. In fact, there was an infringement there by Christian Stuani, and a free kick it is to the French, which Hugo Lloris in an all yellow strip is going to take just inside his own penalty area, not about a yard or two from the edge of the box, and he's going to hit it left footed, and he hits it left footed over the halfway line towards the left hand side, and there's another foul there, this time on Giroud, and a free kick just to the left off centre for the French, about 15 yards inside the Uruguayan half, and they've taken it quickly. We counted to Mtiti, whose brainless handball in the first game presented Australia with a chance of stealing a point, which they didn't, which they almost got, as we look to, oh, another player gone down there, this time the number 21 Hernandez, and there's something going on here. These Uruguayans do well. Let's have a look at that again. It's, oof, I tell you what, that's a poor tackle. It's an absolute poor tackle there. And then the number 8 Hernandez falls on top of him to make things worse. I don't think it was intentional, by the way. Hernandez getting up on his feet, I'm happy to report, and taking some much needed flurries on a day like today. It's very hot and sticky, and we've got a free kick here, which Griezmann's going to take left footed on the left hand side. 4, 5, 6 French players in a line in the penalty area. It's almost a line of both French and Uruguayan, as that ball is floated in towards the far side, and the header was won, but wide of the target. We've had 10 minutes gone. Adrian De Silva is on today, and he says, I'm enjoying your description of the game. Well, you got me and my friend Chris Whiteman to enjoy later on as well, and then I will be describing the England-Sweden match tomorrow afternoon around about the same time, and then you've got Chris again in the commentary box tomorrow night for Russia against Croatia. And of course Chris will be on with us tonight for the big one tonight, and this is the only live stream going right now. Well, it's nice to hear everyone going through. Yes, I'm really pleased to have you on board. Anyone that's saying hello and haven't subscribed to my channel for the yet, please do subscribe. It's good to have you on board, and it's quite a number of people that are tuning in, which is great news for us and great news for the channel. Keep your listening figures coming in. Mbappe's been fouled on the right hand side, or the far side as we look, and a free kick's been taken short to Mbappe. 2-goal hero, of course, against Argentina, which put the Argentines out of the World Cup. On the same day, put the Argentinians and Messi out of the World Cup. On the same day, Ronaldo departed at the expense of Uruguay, as Pogba tried a speculative shot from 25 yards out, judged bound by a pack of defenders there, and then there's a foul there midway across the field, and the referee from Argentina standing no nonsense here. Luis Suarez is involved. When have we heard that one before? The referee obviously taking no nonsense. The ball played in, and it's Mtiti on Suarez. They're both colleagues, of course, at at Barcelona. And Russie's giving us giving it everything here. He said you and Chris could commentate for the BBC, Sky or Talk Sport. Well, it's a nice accolade. Adrian De Silva says, I'm from Spain, but I wish England to win the World Cup. Good team. My English, I am still learning for you. Well, it's good to know that you're there and supporting us, and you'll be able to hear the English in action tomorrow afternoon. And we'll bring you that live. But it's Hernandez down with the concession of a corner. 13 minutes gone, and let's keep the comments to the game and how you think both teams are shaping the spot. It's been a bit 50-50 so far, as Torinia will take the corner on the right hand side for Uruguay. Near side as I look on the monitor. Pointing forward, Goldin is forward from the back as that corner comes in. It's a deep corner this time. A header one, and then Lloris wasn't convincing there with his punch away, and in the end France get away with it. Pogba trying to reach it in the centre of their own half and trying to get something going. Then the referee spotted an infringement, and I think it's a free kick to Uruguay. A little bit of problem there for the Tottenham keeper there, Hugo Lloris. As you see there, the ball is floated in there. The header's won, and in fact Stuani has his shirt being pulled there. Now if Uruguay decided to review that, after the referee reviewed that, then I think they've got a case for a penalty. I have to say that, but it's a free kick to Uruguay, and it's in the centre of the French half, and the ball's floated up just to the right of centre, about 45 yards from goal. It's back in there with great interest. Well, not too great interest, because everyone was coming back from an offside position, and it came to nothing. Lloris grabbed it and bowled it out straight away to the far side. This is Mbappe now deep inside the Uruguayan half, and then he has to get it to halfway line. He finds Paul Pogba, right hand side rather, now plays it to the left, and Hernandez about 10, 15, 20 yards inside the Uruguayan half, and then the ball out towards the far side, and Pavard, good chest control, gets it a left foot across into the penalty area. The free Frenchman comes grabbing on it, and the header backwards from Mbappe is on the roof of the net, and he was completely unmarked, and I don't think he realised how good a chance he had there. Giroud with a header back, and look at the space he's got there. He could have chested that potentially instead of trying to header it. Could have given himself another couple of yards, chested that down, controlled it and shot, but the header, he decided to go for the header, and in the end it was on the roof of the net. But still 0-0. But I'll tell you what, it's been good. In the shots department, Uruguay have had 2, the French have had 4, and that's shots not on target. It's been shots shots towards goal, not on target, just to make that clear. And then we got another player down on the field at the moment. Couldn't see who that was. It was being tagged. Giroud was involved, and it's Torinia who's been fouled. It was a foul. Still 0-0 here, but in Volkerad, and again I think it's going to be a matter of time before the first goal is going to arrive. Just to remind anyone who's joined the broadcast very, very late, we'll tell you that in a minute. It's Cazares plays that ball in there to Usherani, and he slipped. His cross was charged down legally, by the way, and then out of play for a goal kick. Just to remind everybody who's joined us a bit late, as we see the pushing and shoving going on. I think Shuani might have had a case there for a penalty. And as I said, just to remind anyone who may have tuned in late, that the match has to be settled, like all the other quarterfinals, have to be decided on the day or the night. If it's level after 90 minutes, we will have half an hour's extra time, so that's 15 minutes each way. And if there's no decision, then it's the dreaded penalty shootout. And we've had 3 penalty shootouts so far. One in the Brazil game, no, not in the Brazil game, one in the Sweden game, one in the Spanish-Russia game, and of course England just 3 nights ago. That's a sturdy challenge by Stuani on Hernandez, but nothing punished by the Argentinian referee. Of course, the VAR ref is Maserati of Italy, and he could have a big say, being the head of all this VAR malarkey. He could have a big say what happens there if we have to go to the video technology this afternoon. So we'll just have to see how that one plays out. This is Griezmann on the left hand side. 0-0 here between Uruguay and France in a very big quarter final this. And we see there's another big one to come later. Belgium against the Brazilians. Belgium qualifying from England's group top, but they've been given a much tougher route potentially than England have, as the shot comes in right footed from about 30 yards from Paul Pogba. High wide and not so handsome, and behind for Uruguayan goal kick, which Muslera will take. So far, not really. It's not been a classic to say. We've got two balls on the pitch as Muslera sort of realises that. The supporters just trying to waste time for themselves, I think. There's a good atmosphere inside the ground, by the way. It's a very, very nice little ground. As Uruguay, two former World Cup winners, of course. Uruguay last won it back in 1950. And France as very recent as 1998 in their home country, of course. Beat Brazil 3-0 in the Stade de France. That was the afternoon. It was the evening that was, even though the French victory to a lot of observers was overshadowed by the story of Ronaldo being injured or presumably having a fit in the Brazilian dressing room before the start of the match. But France took advantage. 2 goals from Zidane and 1 from Petit, winning their only World Cup to date. But maybe they're in with a half a chance of winning it if they can get past Uruguay. We all thought Portugal might do that, but when Edison Cavani had other ideas, but he's not on the field at the moment. His injury hasn't cleared up for him to start. It's at the moment it's still 0-0 here, and it's Griezmann round the corner trying to find him back. Now Griezmann again takes it now, and he had Pavard unmarked on the far side, just couldn't find him with that attempted ball. Now that's Stuani winning a throw-in off Pogba. Stuani who actually faced Burnley a couple of years ago. Remember when there was a three-way battle between Burnley, Brighton and Middlesbrough to try and win the promotion to the Premier League. Burnley won it as champions, and Middlesbrough ragdarsed it in second place, cruelly knocking Brighton into third, and didn't win the playoffs in the end. Sheffield Wednesday sorted that. As Griezmann comes forward again, tries to find Mbappe now. The ball comes out to the far side. Mbappe has it now, just to the left, and here's Pogba in field. Pogba now might open up for a shot then, and he tried to play the ball forward, try to get a 1-2 on the edge of the area going. Now Pavard on the far side, the right hand side. Pavard in field again, gets the ball back. Pavard now will try and shape a cross. It is what a corner. Russ says, what's your prediction for this game, JB? I'm going to go 2-1 Uruguay. I'm not really bothered, really, to be quite honest, as long as we get a good game. If you were to beg me for a winner, I would say on current form you'd say the French, but you cannot write Uruguay off, so it's a bit 50-50 for me. But I think I'll put my neck on the line and say France just. But Uruguay are very mean defensively. They've only conceded 1 goal in the competition so far, 3 clean sheets in the first phase, and then they conceded to Pepe in the last round against Portugal on the corner. Now we've got VAR involved. VAR's getting involved here, and in the end nothing doing. It is still a corner, and the ball played in by Griezmann, headed away by Godin, and then Kante with a speculative shot from about 40 yards, which was going nowhere near the goal as it turned out. Ball hooked back in there, Hernandez, a high ball in, but the goalkeeper under no pressure whatsoever. Muslera takes the ball comfortably, and Uruguay, as we come up towards halfway through the first half will be pleased. Oscar Tabares, I think, will be slightly the happier of the two coaches so far. I expected a bit more attacking wise from the French, but we haven't seen too much of that. But it's been Uruguay who've been just a little bit more threatening in the attacking final third, as you would think. But this is a difficult game to predict, as Russ has said. He's saying 2-1 Uruguay. I'm going to say France, but as I say, you don't back against Uruguay at your peril. Now, France have had more possession, by the way. Uruguay have had 39% of possession, and France have had the 61%. So there's a lot there. As Pavard is down in a heap on the far side. Mr. Suarez involved this time. Pavard watching it go up, and look at that. Suarez is just absolutely cleaned him out. I'm amazed the Argentinian ref hasn't seen that, because if he had, I think Luis Suarez should be booked for that. I've seen players booked for less in the Premier League. I think I've seen players sent off for less in the Premier League. Yeah, absolutely none of his honour as well as Pavard is getting treated. Good afternoon, JB, and everyone in the chat. Nervy start, as to be expected. And Stephen Karen F. Good to see you both. Good to hear from you both. I guess snooker match has been shut down. I'm not sure what you mean about snooker, but it's nice to hear from you, Steve and Karen, and nice to have you on board. And if you're a first time to this channel and you want to subscribe and hear all our other commentaries, you can do on my page as well, JB Claret YouTube channel, of course. Please subscribe and you'll hear more quarterfinals. For those who have subscribed for the first time, this is not our first live quarterfinal. This is not our only quarterfinal that we're giving to you today. Commentary later on from my other commentator, Chris Whiteman. I will be on duty as well tonight, but in a presenting role. And Chris Whiteman will be your commentator for Brazil against Belgium. We will start the programme at around about 2:45, 6:50 this evening. So don't forget to join us for that one too. And then tomorrow, Chris will be in the presenter's chair for England against Sweden. I will be standing by in the commentary box to bring in that one and take you through the latest chapter in England's bid to win the World Cup for the first time since 1966. And then it's Chris in the commentary box for the fourth and final quarter-final, the late game tomorrow. The host Russia versus Croatia, who were lucky to get past Denmark, incidentally, on Sunday. And you'll be able to hear that again from 10 to 7. The England match, of course, our programme will start around about 2:45 tomorrow afternoon, with Chris Whiteman presenting, and me on commentating duties, as the French have it now, just inside their own half, with N'Golo Kante, who was a real superb player, and he's like a real shield in front of that defensive back four, as France come forward again out to the far side, and Pavard is having plenty to say for himself, tries to break into the penalty area once again, and a corner has been given. Well, the crowd are up for this one. Absolutely superb here. We've had just over 26 minutes gone here in Volgograd, and still 0-0 this quarter-final. It's been a bit of a chess match so far. France yet to really hit the target or test Mussolera yet. But just to remember, anyone who's joined us, like 0-0 if it's level after 90 minutes extra time. If it's level after that, penalties. Tozolero plays that in, and away there by the defender Cazares, I think. Certainly Golding was there too. They are a tough unit to get past Uruguay, and it's obviously the man that leads them at the back, big Diego Golding. He's a man mountain of a centre back, as well, Lax out there involved with Mbappe, and I think the Uruguayans starting to be a bit rough and tumble there a little bit. It's Cazares with the throw. 0-0 here in Volgograd, and I have to say it's been A little bit stop-start, but hopefully the game will pick up as a contest. France have had more possession, but haven't done much with the 61% at the last count so far. This is Pogba inside the centre circle, chipping it towards the Uruguay penalty area, but there was nobody there in a French shirt that was onside, and the ball straight through to Muslera in an all-red goalkeeper's jersey and a goalkeeper's strip. And 0-0 is the score, and it's good to have everybody listening in here. The figures have been great for the JB Quiet YouTube channel. Uruguay have made 95 passes with a pass accuracy of 59% thus far, but one of those passes has gone awry now, and here comes Griezmann. Long sleeves. I think he prefers long sleeves, although it's a bit warm out there on the pitch as that ball is lofted in, and almost an opportunity for Giroud in the centre. Good crossing from the right, and Giroud was within a whisker of getting on the end of that, and that really tested the Uruguayan resolve. Well, what a fantastic start this really has been, and I've got to say, sir, I guess this is going to be a tough game to predict in terms of who's going to win this today, but so far both sides started to get the feel of the game, and now there's a break on here on the far side involving number 6 Bentancur, and he didn't win it in the end. The ball is now with number 12 Tolicio. Here's Tolicio now. Adrian De Silva says, I'm studying this year in London for 3 years. My team are Spain, but to the English public, I support Harry Kane. Just a bit of a statistic on the French passing. They've made 181 passes with a percentage of 75%. And Adrian De Silva says, Harry Kane is a great forward, and he is. He's got 6 goals already in the tournament, if you obviously take out the penalty put away in the penalty shootout on Tuesday evening. Still 0-0, and a good first half here in progress. Pavard with the cross now for France into the penalty area, and that was a dangerous one, cross the 6-yard box, and in the end it's away by Caceres, and Caceres brings it away down the Uruguayan right. Well, 30 minutes gone. This is the cross from Pavard. Mbappe had flicked it on past Godin, and well, Panini's on. I knew Panini had joined me at some point. 113 listening or watching now. Well done, JB. Well, let's hope we can get a lot more for the Brazil game tonight. And of course, Brazil up there as there was an attempted 60-70 yard lob from his own half on the right hand side by Caceres. Goes way over the top and behind for a goal kick. And just to remind you, Brazil against Belgium, what a game that promises to be. I hope you can all join us tonight, and Chris Whiteman will be your commentator for that one. As I say, we'll start at 10 to 7 UK time tonight, and of course there'll be, if you're in France, it'll be 10 to 8 local time with you, because you're our ahead of us and so forth. But if you're in the UK, it's 10 to 7 tonight, British summertime. 0-0 here. 31 minutes gone exactly here in Volgograd. Uruguay 0, France 0. Oh, the attempted pass by Kanté has come off the Argentinian referee. That was a little bit unfortunate, that, because France had a good attack potentially there building up, and in the end it came to nothing. And still 0-0. And I'm getting messages in left, right and centre from people. My father's got a free pint in the Galway every time. Or my father gets a free pint. I don't understand what that means. Oh yes, a pint in the Galway every time Harry Kane actually scores. Well, he's had 6 free pints so far, because Harry Kane's got 6 goals in the tournament. I just want to throw a question back to you, Panini. Does that include penalty shootout goals he gets? Meanwhile, Uruguay have got a free kick and a yellow card being brandished there by the Argentinian referee to number 21, Hernandez. So he's the first player in the book. He's brought down number 8, Hernandez. Yeah, there's a clear shirt told. He knew exactly what he was doing, the French defender. And Lucas Hernandez is the first player inside Mr. Patano of Argentina notebook. In fact, you can see if you're watching it on television, there's actually his shirt has been ripped apart. There's a big hole in the front of his shirt there. You're listening to the commentary with me and then turning the sound down on the television and watching the pictures there, you'd have probably seen his shirt is actually ripped. He's now had to change shirts, and now he's had his shirt changed. We can get on with the game, and a free kick to Uruguay, which Torreira will take from the right hand side, about 10 yards inside the French half of the field. 33 minutes gone. A game that's still yet to come to the boil. Just needs a goal to like the blue touch paper. A little flick on there by Stuani, I think, and it's out for a goal kick. In fact, it wasn't. It was Jimenez who flicked it on. No. And a bit of needle in the game. Didier Deschamps, there's a concerned look on his face at the moment. The man who won the World Cup in 1998. A great football of his generation a few years ago. He's he was a tremendous player. He's been a great coach for the French, and it's got them out of the summers when they were really struggling to even qualify for the first round of tournaments under Raymond Dominic a few years back. French football was at a very low ebb in those days, but he's done well as the ball comes in from Kylian Mbappe on the right hand side and across the face of the goal, and in the end there was just no warning. White took the ball into the back of the net. Mussolera was confident that it was going right across the face. And Dr. Heber BDV says, hey, I'm cheering for France and currently on the car on a road trip. You're our only way to keep up with the game, so thank you very much. It's a pleasure, and I hope you're going to do the same again while at 10 to 7 if you're in Britain or wherever you are. At 10 to 7 British time we'll be live again with Brazil, and they're up against Belgium, and you'll have me presenting and Chris Whiteman on commentary duties. So join us then, Dr. Heber. But stay with us, because it could go all the way today. Extra time, penalties, the lot. And at half time I'll be taking 15 minutes as Suarez chips that in towards Stuani at the back post, and again good defending this time by Umtiti. Stuani with a shot, right footed straight down the goalkeeper's throat. In fact it wasn't, it was Vecchino with the shot rather, and it was straight down Hugo Lloris's throat. I got a bit excited then because we've actually had a shot on target with 35 minutes in the first half gone. My goodness, we've been praying for a good game, but usually a first half that's never been a classic usually perks up in the second half. So I'm speaking as an optimist rather than a pessimist at the moment. A little bit of needle in the first half obviously, but hopefully the second half will obviously we'll see the football, and these two teams have got great football skills. Hernandez plays that forward. Stuani felt he was fouled, but the referee from Argentina says no, and here come the French with Pavard again to Mbappe, to Pogba, back to Pavard, now Varane, just inside his own half, and now Kanté receives it inside the centre circle. Plays a nice little ball, neat ball out to the left, and Hernandez now halfway inside the Uruguayan penalty area, and then the ball, or in the Uruguayan half I should say, going a bit too far for what I was trying to describe. Now then, Hernandez on the left hand side, towards the penalty area, cuts in field, in it goes towards Griezmann, tries to flick it round the corner towards Giroud, couldn't get there. Goulding was in there to stifle the danger away for Uruguay. Now there's a chance here for Stuani, and now the ball will not reach Cazares. Stuani hit that with a little bit too much venom, the through ball over the top, and it's gone for a French throw-in. Rebel almost with their own penalty area, edge of their own penalty area. So we've got 10 minutes plus stoppage time to the break. I will take a 10-minute break. Absolutely Anonymous says Uruguay deploying the traditional 4-4-2 formation, and which has served them well in this tournament. According to FIFA, they're playing a 4-4-2 diamond with with Bentancur playing as the attacking midfielder in behind Stuani and Suarez. Now France have it deep inside the Uruguayan half now, and it's Pogba. Pogba getting it back to Griezmann, back to Pogba, out to the far side now. Needs to be a good cross. Charged down, no appeals for handball, and there was definitely no handball there. And it's play on, and still 0-0. Griezmann has it. Now the ball is intercepted again, and it was Torreira getting back there, doing some good defending. Panini's now opportunity for Caceres to get that away, and the French. Oh, that's a foul. That's going to be a foul. Free kick, and it's a nasty challenge there. Crude tackle there by Bentancur. He knew what he was doing here. A crude tackle there on the number 12 for France, Tolisso, and it was a crude tackle, and a free kick to France. And Rodrigo Bentancur, who was on a yellow card from a previous match, will now miss the semi-finals should Uruguay get there. That's a big blow for Uruguay, that is for sure. And Tolisso is in aid of treatment. It was a very crude tackle. There was no play action involved there, definitely. We're going to have a break in play, and whilst we have a break in play, Panini's been on. He said both teams are defending perfect. It's just defense. It's just a defensive masterclass. Well, also there's a very cautious, because of the stakes involved. There's a semi-final place up for grabs. It's going to be a bit on the defensive side. If we see that crude tackle again, it deserved a yellow card. Tolisso, and I think Bentancur knew what he'd done, and I don't think he's got any cause to complain. So that's the second yellow card of the match. And we already had, so he joins Hernandez in the referee's notebook. We've got a free kick on the left hand side, which or just to the left of the D, about 10 yards from the penalty area. That's going to be taken by Antoine Griezmann. It's actually on the right hand side, not the left hand side. It's going to be Griezmann with his left foot to swing it in, and here comes the free kick. He's whipped it in, and the header flick, done it in! A goal for France! What a great free kick, and it's Miranda centre back. He was unmarked, came in towards the right hand side of the 6-yard box, and then just nodded it past the goalkeeper Mercelera, who dived as far as he could to get across, but he couldn't get across enough, and we have the opening goal of the quarterfinals, and it's gone to France. Little flick there by Rafael Varane of Real Madrid, and France are in front in the quarterfinals of the 2018 FIFA World Cup. What a beautiful ball in, and we needed a goal. We've got one now. Let's hope that's the floodgates up, and let's hope we have an absolute goal fest now, like we did when the last time the French played, a 4-3 against Argentina. Rafael Varane with an important goal. It's his first goal in the World Cup this year, but how crucial that could prove to be for France. Oh la la! 1-0 France. Suarez knows he's up against it now, and with Cavani out of the picture on the bench, it's going to be a long way back for the Uruguayans. But what a great delivery from the right by Antoine Griezmann. He's got that in his locker. And Griezmann, who's been a long time target of Barcelona, has absolutely enhanced his world-class reputation with a superb free kick as Uruguay go in search of an instant equaliser. As Stuani battles on that near side. Oh, Stuani and Hernandez clashed there just for a second, but nothing untoward happened. So Rafael Varane, 40 minutes when the goal was timed. Well, he may have been a slight arm thrown there. The Uruguayans have got a corner out of it. I'm not sure whether that should have been given as that corner comes in. There's a French player down. The referee didn't spot anything until the shot back in from about 25 yards, and in the end Maurice was able to pounce on it, and it was Hernandez with the right-footed drive. As I say, it would take a heck of a lot to beat a top quality goalkeeper like Hugo Lloris, who's who's always been a Mr. Consistency in his days at Lyon at the start of his career, and of course in recent times at Tottenham Hotspur, who moving to their new stadium next season. And great times if you're a Tottenham fan, that is for sure. 0-0. And cool zone, we don't want any links. We're here to give a service to people that can't watch the game, and that is a foul. And Benini's saying don't forget to like and share the broadcast, as Cazares is in a bit of a heap. Just for a moment, the physios and the stretchers were about to come on there like whippets. Now the Uruguayans whipping up a bit of an atmosphere, knowing that the team are a goal down. They're going to play like the 12th man here, and they have to. Free kick, and we're inside the fight. We're coming up towards the. We're coming up to the last 2 minutes of normal time. The free kick floated in from the right hand side. Header one. Oh, what a save! What a save from point blank range by Hugo Lloris, diving away to his right. That is a world class save. It looks as if there was an equaliser on its way here. There's the ball in, and in fact it's Cazares with a header, and what a superb save that was. Godin came in on the rebound to try and finish it off, but he smashed it over from 3 yards, and the French are indebted to their goalkeeper once again. What a save! That, to me, in my opinion, is the save of the tournament from Hugo Lloris. What a superb save! It looked an equaliser all the way from Cazares. A nice little flick header a la Rafael Varane a few moments ago, but this time Lloris did what Mussolera couldn't and make a big save, and a big right hand too. Godin came in on the break, on the follow up to smash it over the bar, but well, Didier Deschamps will be indebted to his goalkeeper, and Oscar Tabares' side denied as we go into the final minute of the first half. Wow. Then at the end of that final minute, we'll find out from the fourth official how much longer there is to go, as Stuani rolls around again. No foul. I mean, some of the play acting certainly from the South Americans, Neymar especially, will be keeping a close attention on him tonight, because he was throwing himself about in the second round. Belgium will not want to be on the end of a decision like that. Ditto Sahar, at least the Uruguayan war's broken. What a free kick. Well, they've actually been breached twice in the competition now, both from set plays. Of course, came a Portuguese corner headed in by Pepe, and of course that free kick today. Dusan Janic says, really thank you very much for the commentary, really enjoying it whilst driving abroad, very much appreciated, and it's appreciated your comment as well, and I hope you can join us for the second half. I'm going to take 10 minutes because I need some lubrication as Umtiti is down in the ground on the floor. We're playing 2 minutes incidentally at the end of the first half, and Titi has been penalised, funnily enough. Suarez was involved. Well, he was climbing over the back of Suarez, and then Umtiti went far too far, and Suarez has won the free kick. Both, as I said earlier, colleagues at Barcelona. So a free kick to Uruguay, one down, could do with an equaliser here right at the end of the first half. Free kick lofted in there, there's a Uruguayan gone down, but no penalty. Then the ball hooked back in by Cazares into the penalty area. Whoa, good header there, won by Paul Pogba of all people, the £89 million man from Manchester United, with a header one there. And Uruguay again coming forward. We played the first of the 2 minutes, we've got a minute of stoppage time to go, and then it's down to Mr. Pitano of Argentina. It's discretion to see how much stoppage time will be added on at the end of stoppage time, if you see what I mean. Frank Gomez is on. Thank you for the commentary, enjoying it from my workplace at the US of A. Thank you very much indeed for that. As you see, Giroud there having a tug at Godin. Now I tell you what, he's not only having his shorts pulled, he's having his shirt pulled there by Paul Pogba. And if the referee or the VAR people see that, or they review it, the Uruguay, they get a penalty for that. The defensive players do not learn, and certainly opposition players that are going to be playing against Harry Kane, and I'm sure the Swedes will be taking note of this. If you even attempt to wrestle Harry Kane to the floor, you run the risk of being given away a penalty, and the England players are wised up to review it for VAR and things like that. And I don't understand why the Uruguayans are not protesting for VAR. They should be. But it's still 1-0 to France. Been a very tough, competitive first half as the referee brings the first half to a close. 11 seconds over the 2 minutes that was added on. Wow. Very much needle match in the first half, that, guys. But the goal after 40th minutes from Rafael Varane was a cracker. But so too was the save 2 minutes later from Hugo Lloris to deny Caceres an equalising goal. Fantastic end to the first half. Much up until then was a dour first half. But here in Volgograd, it's really coming to the ball nicely now. An amazing first end to the first half. And at half time here, it's Uruguay 0, France 1. We're going to take a short break. Don't go anywhere because we'll be back in 10 minutes for full second half commentary. Welcome back to the game here between France and Uruguay. We're just waiting for the teams to come out with the second half. Kathleen said she missed the first half. How did they play? Well, it was a very cagey 40 minutes that had gone before, and then the ball was played, and then they got a free kick. France 5 minutes from half time, taken by Griezmann with his right foot from the left hand from the right hand side with his left foot, and in game Varane with a free header inside the area to nod into the corner to give the French the lead. And then a couple of minutes later, a free kick was floated in from the near side, and a header won by Cáceres inside the penalty area, and a big right hand from Luis diving away to his right. A great save how he pulled that one out the bag. Only Lugo Luis himself will know, but it's 1-0. We're just waiting for the teams to come out here, and this is not the only live game that we're going to be bringing you today here on the JB Claret YouTube channel. Tonight I'll be in the presenter's chair as Chris Whiteman will bring you full match commentary of Brazil against Belgium. Another big match to bring you in. And tomorrow Chris Whiteman will be in the presenter's chair for England against Sweden, and myself, John Stutter, will be on the commentary duty for that one. And then for the final game between Russia and Croatia, it'll be the opposite way round, with me on presenting duties and Chris himself in the commentary box. And it's nice to know that people from all around the world are tuning in. We've had people from the US, we've had people from France, we've got one here from Poland, Entrepreneur. He says, thank you for the commentary, enjoying it as I'm stuck in Poland at the in-laws. Well, it's good to know that we're giving it to you all around the world. We've been getting messages in, and it's great to all have you on board, and I hope you're going to enjoy not just the second half of this game, but the over 3 quarterfinals as well. Both teams are back out onto the pitch, and it's going to be France in the change shirts of all white, or the change strip of all white, to get us underway. And now tap the goal coincidentally to the right. Uruguay in traditional blue with black shorts and black socks, attacking now, and they're getting the ball straight away with Sturani. No changes from either side, and the one goal that's deciding it is a goal after 40 minutes from Raphael Varane. And here come France on the break straight away with Griezmann. Griezmann will get the assist for the free kick as well. So France with a lead to protect. We're into the second half. We've had 30 seconds of it. And here come Uruguay getting in the way. Muslera in goal for them, just to recap the team. Jimenez, Godin and Cáceres. Fekino, Benchiquinho, Hernandez. In fact, I'll go through it on my list because the FIFA version goes very quickly. Muslera in goal for Uruguay. Now it's Jimenez, Godin, Benchiquinho, Hernandez, Suarez, Giovanni, Torreira, Vecchio, Laxalt and Cáceres. For France, just to be confirmed, Lloris, Pavard, Varane, Pogba, Griezmann, Giroud, Mbappe, Tolisso, Kante, Hernandez and Titi. And that's the lineups, and it's still the same 22 players as began the match, as France having on the far side, and Pavard is fallen to the ground by Vecchio, and a free kick to France on the right hand side, about 20 yards outside the penalty area. We haven't seen enough of killing him back for my liking, in fact, and he's enhanced a very particularly good reputation already. The world's youngest, he's got the biggest most expensive player in the world for a man of his undoubted age and quality, as Griezmann prepares to bring the free kick in again, left-footed, and this time too close to the goalkeeper Muslera, under no great pressure takes the ball with no trouble at all. So Uruguay 0, France 1. We've had nearly 2 minutes of the second half. Remember, if it's level after 90 minutes, we will have extra time. And the goalkeeper was, oh my word, Griezmann was in there like a flash, and Muslera must have almost lost his geography there, because he was there, the ball came back to him. Why did he not just boot it? He knew Griezmann was coming in on him, and he tried to take one touch too many, and in the end he hit it straight against Griezmann. On another day that flies in the net. Well, it's shades of what Caballero did in the Argentina-Croatia match, when he tried to be clever and almost and ended up flat on his face, and it almost happened there to Muslera as the ball goes planted forward and on Titi with Suarez clumsing in on it. Had to hack that away, and he did just that easily. Wow, what a game this is going to be now, the second half. I think it's going to be a much better spectacle second half than for most of the first. Although it did come to the boil inside the last 5 minutes. Hucked away by Cáceres. Headed back again with interest by Godin, the captain of Uruguay, the 1950 minutes. Kathleen is back. Kuana Smith to give her a proper title. JB Claret says, she says, so glad I found this commentary, but it took me so long to find it. The only ones I found straight away were all in other languages. Well, if you subscribe to me, if you subscribe to my channel right now, Kathleen, you'll get first dibs on listening to it, because we'll be back in with a vengeance tonight. I hope you can listen along to Brazil against Belgium. I will be in the presenter's chair, Kathleen, tonight, and I've got my colleague and friend Chris Whiteman, who's a fellow Burnley fan, by the way. If you don't know already, he's going to be your man in the commentary box, and then tomorrow join us as well, Kathleen. We're England against Sweden. Chris will be presenting, I'll be the commentator, and then it's the role reversal for Russia against Croatia. And of course we'll have both semi-finals, the third place playoff, and of course a week on Sunday I'll be your big match commentator and presenter for the big one, the final on the 15th of July. Kick-off, of course, for that one, 4 o'clock British time in the afternoon, and that's 6 o'clock local time in Russia. Free kick to France, and absolutely enormous, as said. Also, it's been an intriguing game so far, JB. Uruguay are still very much in this, and they're not out of it by any stretch, but a second French goal would put their future in the World Cup very much in doubt. They have a free kick on the right hand side here, Didier Deschamps. A little bit of concern on the coach of Uruguay, Oscar Tabarez. It's going to be Mbappe with a free kick now, right footed, right hand side, about 10 yards from the penalty area. Swings that in again. The goalkeeper decides to fist, and he got there, and there's a French player gone down there, very brave, and it's Paul Pogba who's hurt his wrist, and another player down as well, the number 22 there, Cáceres as well, hurting all that. Pogba goes down first, and then there's a shirt pull, I think. Pogba may have had his shirt pulled. He certainly bumped into Muslera. The goalkeeper came, punched it, took the lot, including Paul Pogba. Jurek Yuka is joining us, listening nice and early from Anchorage in Alaska, 7 a.m. in the morning. Well, I hope it's not too chilly for you. I hope it's a little bit warm for you. This is what the World Cup is all about, proper game, says Panini, one of my regular subscribers, and of course he's a moderator, of course, as mine as well. He's a great character. Check his channel out when you get 5 minutes and you're not listening to man. He's got some lovely football documentaries about the beautiful game. Meanwhile here in Roca Red, it's Uruguay 0, France 1. We've had 6 minutes of the second half thus far, and it's been all action so far, and passes completed. Uruguay just 125 passes, France almost double that, in fact just over double that, 241. So 120 passes ahead in the statistics department for France, and they're also ahead in the goals department, 1-0 as the ball is bundled forward. Griezmann couldn't touch it because he was in an offside position as the ball was headed on. Now Giroud has it deep inside the Uruguayan half. Good tackle there by two Uruguayan defenders, but Griezmann's got it out to the far side. Now a chance for Hernandez. Hernandez now tries to get the crossing, and Mbappe's there on the left hand side just inside the area. Good tackle coming in, and it's a corner to France. And Mbappe buying the corner off the Uruguayan defence, who have been breached for only the second time in the tournament. They get 3 consecutive shutouts in the group phase, but they've conceded twice now from set plays in 2 games. One to Pepe of Portugal and one to Varane today from France. And at the moment, that goal after 40 minutes looks like decided things here. Second French goal would really put Uruguayan backs up against the walls. Uruguay reached the semi-finals back in 2010, the last time they got to that stage of the competition. They had a speculative shot from about 35 yards out from Pavard, who who, as we found out against Argentina in the second round, can certainly hit them. They hit a smashing goal from the right hand side of the penalty area, I remember, to make it 2-2 in that game, if I remember rightly. So we've had 52 minutes of high-octane action. It's Mussolera with the right-footed goal kick. Forward it goes. 3/4 of the way up the field it goes. Deep inside French territory. And again, Pogba winning it for the French. He's had a decent game today, Paul Pogba. Believe it or believe it not. Talisio now has it on the far side. Now Hernandez. Back to Ntiti. Now, again, good football again from the French. When they keep possession, they do pass it really well. Here's Varane, the goal scorer. This goal after 40 minutes is looking like giving the French at this moment in time a place in the semi-finals, but there's still a good portion of this second half to go, about just over 35 minutes plus stoppage time to go. We're coming up towards the 10-minute mark of the second half. Fantastic, Kathleen, and don't forget, it's free to subscribe, and if you missed any of the action in any of the other games we covered, you can listen to them for your heart's content forever. And of course and don't forget, stay subscribed, because we'll have live football next season, of course, Premier League, Burnley involved, of course, and at the moment it's still 1-0 to France. But I'm absolutely bowled over by the support that we're getting on this one game alone. Just think of what we could get for England tomorrow night, or tomorrow afternoon, and the other two quarter-finals. Oh, that's a crew tackle on the far side by number 8 there, Hernandez. On Hernandez. If you see what I mean. Hernandez trying to pirouette, and then he was crudely taken out by Hernandez. If you pardon the pun. Free kick to France, just to the right of the penalty area, far side, and it's taken left-footed by Hugo Lloris down the French left-hand side, I should say, really. And ball forward once again. Balit Balou, I don't know what that means in English, but Balit Balou to you this afternoon, and it's the Mangas, I'm going to say there, as the ball is threaded in, and Titi, he got himself in a bit of a tangle. Didn't look as if he looked a foul there, but the play goes on, and then the shot goes wide from Batakinia, and it's wide for a goal kick, I think, to France. 5 minutes of the second half gone, and Titi doesn't complain, gets on with the match. First touch was heavy, and he slips there, actually. To be fair, he tries to get it out, and then Batakinia just hits it well out of play into touch for a goal kick. Panini says France are going up the gears at the moment. Well, just for one moment, I thought Uruguay might get the opportunity there to equalise, but they're still trailing to that 40th minute goal from Varane. We've had 10 minutes just over the second half, but we've had over 10 and a half minutes. And another throw in again. Well, it's been fantastic, and I think it's from France. I think we can certainly make out the language there, the countries there, and I'm sure his team are on the cusp of something very special. A semi-final berth for the French. I mean, they've done that in the World Cup since 2006 when they got to the final, and of course Zidane's disgraceful sending off when he headbutted Materazzi in Berlin. They failed to get out the group stages in 2010 under Raymond Dominic. We're going to see a substitution for Uruguay in just a second as they tried to play. No, of course, Cavani. He's out through that injury, so I don't think it cleared up in time. Oscar Tabarez looking to change things now in the remaining 34 and a bit minutes that remain, or 33 minutes that remain. Another Uruguayan down on the floor. This time it's Suarez. Varane tagged him. A free kick on the near side to Uruguay, who have to get on with it. And bonjour, monsieur. I can't pronounce that either. Glenn Griezmann and bonjour back as well. So we're having a little bit of French lessons on the chat at the moment as Uruguay come and search for an equaliser now. Ball low into the penalty area. Sturani was there, so too was Suarez, but it's hooked away by Varane. Still Hernandez now. The Uruguay is now starting to play a little bit of football now. And then Hernandez wins the throw off Tolicio. And a throw in now. So it's not going to be one, it's going to be two. Uruguay are going to make a double substitution, I'm hearing, and we'll tell you exactly what it is in a second or two. Here's the long throw in, level with the penalty area of France. Little flick on in there towards the back post. Suarez can't get there, and in the end it might still crack here as Suarez gets the ball into the penalty area, out to the far side. Uruguay going for it now, and the ball over the top, and the French again see it out. Cazares with the half-hearted attempt, and it remains 1-0. Absolutely brilliant. And Mario Gomez about to come on, and Christian Rodriguez, number 7. So Sturani is being replaced, and he's going to be replaced by number 18 Gomez, and number 6 Benton Cure is off, and on in his place is number 7 Rodriguez. That's Christian Rodriguez, that is. Both changes coming after 58 minutes, or 58 minutes to you and I. So, and Tolicio is down on the floor, and absolutely none of us echoing what we're saying at the moment. Everyone watching around the world, welcome, great to meet you all. Panini says the same, and as we see a collision there between the number 8 Hernandez and Tolicio, it has been a bit of an on the needle side, and Tolicio, to the vast relief of this capacity crowd here, is up and on his feet. Well, Oscar Tabarez has played 2 of his jokers. Will they turn out to be Uruguayan aces, or will France get the result which will take them through to the semi-finals? I covered them on the opening match against Australia. They didn't look convincing. It needed a goal line technology goal and a VAR penalty to get past the Aussies, and now Suarez having his 2 pennant with the Argentinian referee, and I think they're having the drop ball on halfway, I think, and Suarez actually sportingly knocking it back, and now the game can continue. The ball back to Lloris, and Suarez is pursuing the ball, but he's winning 10 yards of Lloris as he kicks it left-footed. Inside the centre circle it goes. Still 1-0 for France. We've played an hour, and so far it's been a very good first half, second half so far. Pogba winning possession on the right, just to the right of the centre circle, goes through midfield, finds Giroud. Giroud now out to the far side. Griezmann now. Griezmann will try the shot, and the goalkeeper has fumbled it into the net. It's a mistake by Mascherano, and Griezmann makes it 2-0 to France. The shot came from the left-hand side of the edge of the penalty area. Griezmann hit it with his left foot. The goalkeeper seemed to have it, and then he went right through him, and France are now, dare I say it, 1 foot in the World Cup semi-finals. Antoine Griezmann has made it 2, but the goalkeeper will have to be blamed for this. The ball out to the left-hand side of the D. The ball is straight at the goalkeeper. He's going to palm it. And you've just got to ask the question, why did he try to punch it? It really does annoy me when the foreign goalkeepers try to punch. He should have tried to catch it, and his positioning was all wrong. Ridiculous goalkeeping. Take nothing away from the shot, but that should be savable for me. Mascherano, you cannot get away with it. That's poor goalkeeping. I'd never understand the foreign goalkeeper's policy to punch a ball away, and that was a speculative shot. It wasn't particularly well hit, in all fairness to Griezmann, but Mascherano, what an error. It's 2-0 to France, and Uruguay now, dare I say it, even with 62 minutes on the clock, are needing not just 2 goals, but they're needing snookers now, even to force extra time. Even with Luis Suarez on the field, but they have won a corner. on the near side, the left-hand side, and already in the number 14, Torreira now looking to get on with it now, and the more players they pull forward, the more susceptible to the counter-attack they could be. Golding's forward, right by the penalty spot. Uruguay player went down, not spotted by the referee. Uruguay will get a second chance. 63 minutes almost gone. Uruguay 0, France 2 in the quarter-final. The first of 4 quarter-finals here at the World Cup. Uruguay trailing 2-0. The 1950 winners trailing 2-0 to the 98 winners. Here's the corner, comes in from the far side, and the header is away by France. Then the shot back in, a little bit of a scramble in there, then the shot goes wide, and it was stabbed forward by number 7 Rodriguez with his left foot, and almost went flying in there, went to hit it with his left foot, and he, well, just scraped a foot wide there, didn't it? Well, that could have really put Uruguay back in business. But instead it's behind for a goal kick. 2-0 to France, and Edison Cavani looks on in horror as Christian Rodriguez wins that ball on the halfway line, just to the left of the centre circle. Won back fairly by Gomez in the number 18. And then he goes down, but the referee's not interested. This is Pogba on the left-hand side for France. Infielder Griezmann, whose goal for the goalkeeper. It's a goalkeeping error. It has to go down. Griezmann will claim the goal because it was on target, but Muslera, I'll just never know why he tried to punch it. I'll never know until my dying day why he tried to punch the ball. It's just ridiculous. And then the French flags are waving. They deserve it, really. They've been much better enterprising now. Pavard is down on the floor, and it's all kicking off here a little bit here. Frustration. Oof, dear me, that's a bad foul. Torreira. I'm surprised he's not been bumped by the Argentine referee, but France now heading very quickly now towards the quarter semi-final. This is the speculative shot. Look at that. Well, there's not too much curl on it, and the goalkeeper, if the goalkeeper tries to even just catch that, he doesn't run the risk of conceding. It's basic goalkeeping. 2-0 to France. Griezmann after 61 minutes with the second goal. Free kick taken in towards the penalty area. France didn't put, only had 2 in the box for that free kick. And here come Uruguay now, looking to get back into it with Nandez. Suarez was actually onside as Nandez played the ball forward, so he couldn't have touched it. And now Christian Rodriguez to Luis Suarez. Something's got to give here. And Rodriguez out to the far side, or the near side rather. The cross come in and away by N'Golo Kante, who's been a little bit quiet today, but whatever he's had to do, he's done it with great efficiency. The Chelsea man, formerly of Leicester City, of course. That's where he made his name, and they only bought him for a few thousand, something to £25-30 million. What a great bit of business that was from Leicester City. Panini has said goalkeeper made a big mistake, took his eyes off the ball. And here come France now with Pavard looking to wrap this game up now. And here's Pogba to Griezmann. Griezmann turning. There's another French player gone down in a big heap down there. I think it's Kevin Mbappe. They've had to put the ball out, and Mbappe is down on his haunches, and Godin came flying in there. Why did he have to get involved, Godin? That was just stupid from the Uruguayan captain. And now we've got a free-for-all. Mbappe is clearly stricken there, and Godin started the ruck by absolutely running over to start a fight he had no need to start. Oh my goodness, it's all kicked off big time here. The linesman's involved on the field. There is Uruguayan frustration. One can understand that, but there's no need for Godin to start running 20-30 yards to add his 2 penalty in there. I know he's the captain, I know he's a great leader, but that was ridiculous from the Uruguayan captain. He had no need to do it. Mbappe was clearly stricken, and the Uruguayans here, I don't know what they've got a crap about, quite honestly. They've lost their heads. And I'm afraid to say, if I was a referee, I'd be brandishing cards left, right and centre here like confetti. Golding has got to be booked for me, because his part in things, and there's still scuffles going on. Suarez involved as well with Pogba. It's all kicking off here in Volgograd. It really is kicking off. But it all started, Mbappe was certainly taken out, there's no doubt about it. And then Diego Godin, he was the man who instigated the whole affair for me by running 20 yards to get involved in a matter which clearly was none of his business. And I'll be very... Oh, Mbappe's booked. Well, Mbappe's booked. Well, this is what happened. Mbappe was involved. Now, what happened? Oh, Rodriguez has knocked him over. That's what's happened. And then Godin. Now, watch Godin here. Try to... Oh, that's disgraceful from Godin. Well, maybe he should be having words with his teammate. Pogba getting involved, Nandez involved. You could have booked a handful of players for both sides. But getting involved in a matter they had no need to get involved with. I don't understand why Mbappe's booked. That seems like a strange yellow card to me, because I don't think he did anything untoward. And the ball forward, and then Mbappe was taken out. And then the ball was taken out again. And if Golding is not being booked, I'll be very amazed. But Christian Rodriguez has been booked. Well, he should have been red carded because he threw a punch at the... he knew what he was doing. He threw a punch towards Mbappe. He should be off the pitch. Uruguay, you could argue, should be down to 10 men. But I think Diego Godin is very lucky not to have his name taken as well, because he ran about 20-30 yards to get involved in a situation which quite clearly was none of his business, and he kicked it all off for me. Laxalt has fouled Mbappe, and it's all going wrong for Oscar Tabarez' side. His side now 2-0 down and completely and utterly indisciplined. One can understand the frustration, but I'm afraid the Uruguayans have been a disgrace today. And I'm very amazed at Diego Godin, and a terrific player he is, and a great defender in his own right, and he's got a passion for the game, but I'm afraid Godin should have been booked at least for his part in the shenanigans. 20 minutes to go, 2-0 to France, and Uruguay now really losing their heads. Here's Godin now with a right-footed clearance over the halfway line, flick on by Suarez. Suarez is there, still might fall for Rodriguez. And now Pogba to bring it away. Had to fend off a Uruguayan defender, or a Uruguayan midfielder I should say. I think the Argentinian booked... I think he booked Rodriguez. I think he was right to at least brandish a yellow card, although in my opinion it should have been a red card. But to book Kylian Mbappe for nothing, it sounds odd. And then you've got Diego Godin, who started the whole free-for-all. Doesn't even book him. It just doesn't add up. Now then, Cáceres now on the far side. Poor ball in. Hooked away by Hernandez. Cáceres will try again with another long throw. There's going to be another Uruguayan change. France, I think, have yet to use one. Oscar Tabarez now using a crutch or a walking stick of some kind. Must be fuming as that throw comes in from Cáceres, but headed away once more. Well, it's all kicked off here in the second half, but France are 2 up, and all they've got to do is keep disciplined, not get into any problems, and hopefully the French should be into the final. Andrew Vaughan is a Brit, but he's living in Orlando, in America, listening at work on the road. Thank you very much. Oh, thank you, Andrew, and I hope you can beg your work boss to listen to our second live offering we've got for you on the JB Claret YouTube channel, because later this afternoon American time we have full match commentary of Brazil and Belgium, which is a late game, and that will be at 6:50, 10 to 7, 10 to quarter to 7 UK time, British summer time of course, here over in the UK. Now then, Pogba now, midway inside the Uruguayan half. Griezmann now, there's a man free net. Griezmann tries the shot with his right foot, and in the end, in fact, it wasn't Griezmann. It was number 12, in fact, Talisio, sorry. Talisio with the shot. I do beg your pardon. sometimes the best commentators get it wrong, but he said he'll be watching that one live on TV. You can watch it live on the television. Just turn the sound down and listen to myself and Chris Whiteman. I'll be your presenter for that one, and Chris Whiteman will be commentating for you. Nandez is on, and oh, what a name to bring on there, Uruguay. I can't pronounce that one. What are you doing to me, Oscar Tavares? It's on a 2-0 with just 18 minutes left to play. And, well, the French looking very good for the semi-finals, where the winners of this one will play the winners of the other quarter tonight between Brazil and, of course, Belgium. And whoever gets through that one, looking like the French, what a semi-final that promises to be. And it's entirely prospecting, with all due respect to the Belgians who may be listening. Any Belgians that are listening, and I don't mean this with any due disrespect, but as we see a look at the key passes, Griezmann with 8, Torreira with 7, Mbappe with 6. Maurice just hands the ball out of play, midway side, he's held out for a Uruguay throw-in. With all due respect to the Uruguayan and the Belgian fans who may well be offended by what I'm going to say next, but it does seem, I don't mean any disrespect, but it's an enticing prospect of France-Brazil semi-final. Of course, England in the other semi could face Russia or Croatia if they were to get past Sweden tomorrow. And don't forget, we'll have commentary on both those games. We'll have both those games live. So yes, stick with us. Chris Whiteman is a very good commentator. He's your man, and I will be doing the links, introduction, half time, full time, and that looked like handball, but the referee allowing to go on. And here come France now in great style here. Omar says hello JB, hello Russ. JB could make it out on the BBC. Who's been the standout player for each team? Well, I'm not sure about, I don't know about Uruguay, but I certainly believe that Griezmann has made all the difference for France. I think Pogba's had a decent game. To say that he just drifts in and out, Pavard has done well on the right. And those would be my standout players. As regards Uruguay, I'd probably go with Torreira. He's more likely. And here comes Griezmann now on the right hand side. Griezmann just checks back and finds Pavard. And France now just slowing the pace down now. Quarter of an hour left to go. Uruguay needing 2 goals to even force an extra half an hour of this, 3 to win it outright. Out to the far side in Hernandez. A third French goal would really kill the Uruguayans off. And Hernandez again trying to play it into Mbappe. Mbappe turns. Great skills there, and almost through there, and then the shot, which is well wide in the end by Olivier Giroud, and behind for a goal kick. Former Arsenal, but now Chelsea player. There's a look at the second goal. It's a right-footed shot, and what's Mussolera thinking of? He's trying to punch it when a catch would have been more appropriate. And I think he's just cost his team the World Cup there. And there's a couple of Uruguayan supporters, young Uruguayan supporters, a couple of Uruguayan little boys there in absolute tears. Well, could it be tears of joy if they find 2 goals in the remaining time that remains? Remember, they can't use Cavani. He's out of the game. He picked up that injury in the last round, which has weakened them sufficiently. I know they do have Luis Suarez, so the remainder, but he hasn't really made a good enough impact on the game. So it looks as if the big games are going out again, and Suarez is on his way out of the World Cup, joining Ronaldo and Messi and all the other, and the Germans out of this World Cup. I told you some of the big names will fall by the wayside, and the way this World Cup has worked out, it's not a great surprise. Remember, Germany out in the first round, bottom of their group. Argentina fell at the last 16. Portugal fell at the last 16. Spain fell at the last 16. All the big names have fallen by the wayside. Now it's Uruguay's turn to potentially fall by the wayside. We could have Brazil falling out if Belgium get their head on tonight. And you'll be able to hear that in full with us live. Pavard has had a fantastic game. 13 minutes to go, folks. It's been an absolute joy to bring this one to you live, and we'll be bringing you the other 3 quarterfinals live, and we're proud to do so. On the JB Carr YouTube channel, we'll have the semi-finals both live, and we'll have the final itself. plus the third place playoff the day before. Chris Whiteman is your man for that third place match. And of course, I'll be the man in the commentary box for the final itself. A week on Sunday, just 9 days from now. Uruguay look to try and get back in the game, but a good bit of defending there by Samuel and Titi. And it's going to be a throw. Cazares to take it longish this time. There's going to be a couple of French changes now as the Shams looks to shut up shop now. As the header is won again. The French have been superb to a man. Cazares now will cross it in right from the right hand side. The header goes in and the two Uruguayans foul a couple of the French players as well inside the edge of the 6-yard area, and a French free kick. Varane and Untiti, the two centre backs. And Varane has come off worst as Nzonzi replaces the number 12 Tolicio. Steven Nzonzi, so Nzonzi will come on. And well, it's been an unbelievable day if you're a Frenchman. And hello to you, Samuel Trazar. I take it you're from France. And it's great to see a country, a great footballing nation, the French. They've got a superb French side. I had the privilege of commentating on them a few times in the Euros a couple of years ago. And I've had a terrific pleasure of commentating on them here today. So Talicio has finally come off. And Nzonzi comes on for his place. And I think he's Italian, Xiao. So it looks as if he's got an Italian rather than a Frenchman. I do apologise, Samuel. Anyway, we've got about 10.5 minutes of the game to go, plus stoppage time, of course. And France now, surely, barring accidents, are going to qualify for the first place in the World Cup semi-final. Of course, the winners of this one play the winners tonight between Belgium and Brazil. The other semi-final will be decided tomorrow between with the two quarter-finals there. England against Sweden and Russia against Croatia. And who would have thought that at the start of the tournament? Russia, of course, through, and through legitimately. Spain were trying Sergio Ramos was trying his usual trick to try and win a penalty, which was never forthcoming. Possession 58 to 42% in France's favour, 351 to 187 passes completed. But the most important statistic at the moment is Uruguay 0, France 2. Goals watch win matches, not passing or possession. It's goals that count. France have been the better team, and they are deservedly heading, as things stand, in the semi-finals. Golding now 10 yards from halfway now. Can he inspire a Uruguayan comeback? It'd be a comeback which would take a lot out of the French legs now at this point. But at the moment, I can't see the French being breached at all. The French defence has been unbelievably superb. Nothing like what we saw in the first game a few weeks ago against the Australians. Giroud has been penalised on the far side, and Uruguay now have not got to mess about. They can't afford to. They can't afford now to. They can't afford to mess around with the ball. They've got to get on with it. They can't afford the time waste. Otherwise, they're killing their own chances now. They're killing their own chances. The goalkeeper has fumbled, and well, it's almost as bad as the Karius mistake in the European Cup final some 7 or 8 weeks ago now. Out for a goal kick behind. We've played nearly 82 minutes. And the red, white and blue flags of the French are waving proudly here in the French contingent in the stadium. This is the second goal from Griezmann. Left-footed speculative, and of course Varane with a header earlier on in the game after 40 minutes of the first half has put the French on 1 foot in the World Cup semi-final, where they'll play Brazil or Belgium, who play at 7 PM British time tonight, 9 o'clock Russian time. But really has been this afternoon a terrific masterclass from everybody concerned. Here's Lloris with his left foot, gets it a long way, 3/4 of the way up the field. Seems to be a foul there on Giroud, but the referee not interested, allowing play to continue. And now they need snookers here, Uruguay. They need something from Suarez, who's waiting in the centre. But once again, great defending there, and nothing doing as Uruguay try to break down the right. But again, good defence by the French, who have really done themselves justice here this afternoon. And Mendes doing well against the number 20 there, whose name is very unpronounceable, so I do apologise for that. I just hope Uruguay go out just for that, just for him and an arm, because it's a very difficult name to pronounce. But the Uruguayans are very, very upset and disappointed. One can appreciate that, but they've been second best really to a French team that have shown no mercy, and their finishing has been top notch. Although the Uruguayan goalkeeper may well have to ask himself a few questions about the way he performed this afternoon, as Suarez tries to dummy that, but well in was Nzonzi there on the edge of his own area, won the ball cleanly as Suarez dummied that header back, and Nzonzi takes possession again. It's 6 minutes now plus time added on to go, and the French cruising now, dare I say it, into the semi-finals of the World Cup. It's been a remarkable turn of events here. For the first 35 minutes it was a very cagey 0-0 sort of a game, and then it all went unravelling, certainly for it went unravelling badly wrong for the Uruguayans, who are now tumbling out of the World Cup, and Hugo Lloris now trying to outfox Suarez with a great little bit of skill there. Well, I hate to say muscle error, but I think Burnley's Nick Pope could have caught that one. Nick Pope, of course, third choice for England, should have been first choice, but I have to say Jordan Pickford, since he's been playing, since he took over the number 1 jersey, has been absolutely superb. So remember, in just over 2 hours time we'll be live with Brazil against Belgium. Chris Whiteman will be on main commentator for that one, and I'll be sitting it in the presenter's chair, linking up between the start, the half time and the full time, possibly. And of course it's no danger of us having a bit of overtime here this afternoon. It's going to go the full 90 now, and no more, unless Uruguay come up with two the mother of all miracles now. You can't see it happening. 4 minutes now to go. Uruguay 0, France 2, and I have to say it's been a comfortable victory for the French, as Nzonzi plays it out to the right hand side, and Pavard now main to field of Pogba. Pogba looked as if he was tripped, but the referee said no, and it's play on. This is Suarez on the left hand side. Suarez trying to get something going here, and that's a poor ball by Luis Suarez, and good defending by Rafael Varane. I have to say he's been magnificent. And in fact, another change for France, and I'm going to give the JB man of the match in fact to Rafael Varane of France. Really good centre half masterclass. Him and Titi have not given anything away, and then he scored a terrific headed goal, and off comes the main man Mbappe. No goals for him today, but I don't think he'll mind too much, because his team now are heading rapidly towards the semi-finals. 3 minutes of normal time to go, and I have to say France have been good value for their potential victory here this afternoon. And Dembele will come on, number 11, for the remainder of the match. And well, what a performance. No goals for him, but I have to say It's been a performance. France didn't have to play particularly well to win the game, but my goodness, they've performed beyond belief. And here they come again now, looking for a third. That's a foul. Free kick, says the Argentinian referee. And frustrations boiling over for people like Jimenez and Godin and others, as Pogba ran straight at him and was tripped quite comprehensively there by Jimenez. And a free kick about 30 yards from goal, and you know who's over it, Mr. Griezmann, of course, just to the right of centre actually. As I look at it now, 2 minutes to go, and 4 saves to France, none to Uruguay, although it should have been a regulation catch for Muslera on the second goal scored by Griezmann, who's now taking control of this free kick. And I think there were tears, from Jimenez already when they've got about a minute and a half left of normal time, notwithstanding stoppage time, as Griezmann now steps up with his left foot. Over the wall it goes, and over the crossbar as well. It's a good effort there by the Atletico Madrid forward. And look at that, tears of sadness from Jimenez. He's almost beyond help there, I'm afraid. He's in tears. You can see his eyes he's welling up there, somewhat rotten. It is frustrating when your team are so close to a World Cup semi-final berth, but just falling that hurdle before. So Uruguay's wait for the first World Cup since 1950 continues, unless they can find 2 goals in the 1 minute of normal time that remains. At least the Uruguayan supporters now rallying their team on for one final effort at the end of the game. They have a free kick here, about 35 yards from goal. Can they at least try and force a dramatic finish, just like the Argentinians did against the French in the last round? A free kick, left-footed into the penalty area, or right-footed rather, into the penalty area, headed out for a throw-in, level with the penalty area for Uruguay. 15 seconds of the second half, normal time to go, and it's a low throw-in again. But again, good defence by the French, and out for another throw, level with the French penalty area. We've now 5 seconds shy of the 90 minutes played, and showing out. We're playing now the 90 minutes exactly, and our fourth official will find out. We'll find out from the fourth official. Well, 5 minutes. Well, apart from the free-for-all incident, I would have said 4, but Uruguay bought themselves an extra 5 minutes here to try and make it nervy for France. We're now 23 seconds into the first of 5 minutes here at the end of the game. Stay tuned. Could be a late one here. Could be a dramatic finish. It's going to be Jimenez with the throw-in. Level with the edge of the 6-yard area. Into the penalty area it goes. The throw-in. Away by Pogba. France now so close to a semi-final. They're just literally 4.25 minutes away from being into the semi-finals of the World Cup. They appeal for handball. The French, it looks like an handball. The referee's giving it. And that's a little bit of relief for the French, who are so close now to a clean sheet. 4 minutes of stoppage time left. We've played the one of the 5. 4 minutes to go, stoppage time. France have a free kick, and it's going to be Lloris, and he's going to take as much time as he possibly can or dare. But it's the French who are going to be singing in the streets of Volgograd tonight. The Uruguayans still having a little party, although their team are bowing out. They had a good start to the tournament. 3 useful wins in their group, which took them through, and 3 clean sheets, but they were a bit unsure of themselves against the Portuguese. I think it was Cavani who got them over the line in that one, and then obviously he came off with an injury, which is always going to be difficult for them today against a resolute French side who have grown in confidence from the first moment we cut ties with them in the tournament against Australia. A very fortunate win I felt against the Australians for the French, but they kept themselves consistent and have got themselves probably one of the most comfortable wins, in fact, in the whole tournament. And Griezmann is going to get a standing ovation now from his countrymen now as he takes the field, or comes off the field. It's his goal, and a mistake by the goalkeeper as well that has taken the French into the last 4. Griezmann off. A hope from his manager, And on in his place comes number 18 Fekir, and now who will now come on for the Romania. The Romanian that remains off. Well, what a performance it has been. Rest in peace Uruguay, and well, Griezmann can look forward to the final now. Don't forget Brazil against Belgium later on, live on the JB Claret YouTube channel, which is where the live is on at the moment. And well, it's been fantastic. So stay with us, everybody. Rejoin us in just over under a couple of hours, because we'll be bringing you build up and commentary on Brazil against Belgium, who the French are now going to face in the semi-finals. Uruguay still battling on in there. They will go down fighting, but it just hasn't been enough, really. Not even with Suarez or Godin on the pitch. It just hasn't been enough. But they're still giving it a good goal. Crossing for the right hand side, and out for a goal kick. Coughlin says, judging how France have played today, you think they'll do well in the semi-final against the Brazilian or Belgian team? Well, Belgium looked good in the first two games, and then there was that dour display against England when they sneaked a win home, and then they had that scare against Japan in the last round when they were 2-0 down. And of course, do you fancy Belgium off Brazil to win? Well, I'd like to see Belgium win it. I think they do have a terrific attack. I think it all depends on whether it all depends on which Neymar actually turns up as the cross comes in, and again headed away by Hernandez. And we're now 30 seconds away from the end of the game. There's Lloris, and he takes that very comfortably, and even the presence of Gomez inside the 6-yard area wasn't going to put him off too easily. We're now 10 seconds away from the end. The Argentinian ref checks his watch for first time, and it actually blows up, but before the 5 minutes comes there, we've played 94, 50 and 56 seconds, and there goes the full-time whistle here, and it's France who claim the first place in the World Cup semi-finals here by 2-0. The goal that sent them on their way came after 40 minutes from Varane, a free kick that was headed in by him from Griezmann, and then Lloris made a save from Cazares 2 minutes later, which sort of turned the game in France's favour. And then Griezmann with a speculative 20-yard shot just to the left of the D went through the goalkeeper's hands when he tried to flap at it rather than catch it, went through and into the back of the net. And even with Luis Suarez and Diego Godin on the field, it just wasn't enough for Uruguay to recover from. From that moment on, they needed Lucas, and in the end, they bow out. And they've done so well to even get there in the first place, but they made a French team that just weren't budging. And that brings us to the end of our coverage of today's match. And Bonini sums it up perfectly for me. France played perfect, and I think there can be no arguments at all about that. But thank you very much to everyone that's listened and everyone that's tuned in today. Don't forget, in just over 2 hours time, in fact just over under 2 hours time from now, about 70 minutes away, we'll have full match commentary of Brazil against Belgium, and what a match that promises to be. It depends which Neymar turns up. Will it be the Jekyll one that scores goals, or will it be the Hyde that dives around a lot? We'll just have to see then. But absolutely anonymous, I'm going to finish with him. France deserve winners. Uruguay needed Cavani. Fantastic again, JB. Until later on, bye bye, and goodbye to you too, and goodbye to everyone for now. But we'll be back at about 7:15 UK time for Brazil against Belgium in the company of myself and and your match commentator for that one, Chris Wyman. I hope you can join us both for that one then. But for me, John Stuttard, thank you very much for listening to us. We've had some many lovely people contributing from all over the world. Let's hope for the same again tonight. Take care now, and we'll see you in just under an hour and a half's time. Till then, take care. Bye bye.